We begin in Paris, the city of light. No trip to France is complete without seeing the Eiffel Tower, but did you know you can picnic in Champ de Mars for free? For art lovers, the Louvre is a must, but arrive early or book a night visit to avoid crowds. A Seine River cruise at sunset is magical. And don't miss the bohemian charm of Montmartre, where artists still paint in Place du Théâtre. Hidden gem alert. Sainte-Chapelle has the most stunning stained glass in Paris and far fewer tourists than Notre-Dame. Speaking of which, after the 2024 renovations, Notre-Dame is back and more breathtaking than ever. Pro tip. Climb the towers for a gargoyle's eye view. For a local vibe, explore Le Marais, full of trendy boutiques, falafel spots and historic mansions. And if you love history, Père Lachaise Cemetery is where legends like Jim Morrison and Oscar Wilde rest. Next, we head to the French Alps, home to Mont Blanc, Europe's highest peak. In winter, Chamonix is a skier's paradise, but summer brings epic hiking. Take the Aiguille du Midi cable car for jaw-dropping views, and if you're brave, step onto the Step into the Void glass box. Just an hour away, Annecy is called the Venice of the Alps for its canals and pastel houses. Rent a bike, stroll the Sunday market, and try local Beaufort cheese. For adventure lovers, paragliding over the lake is a must. Want a true alpine experience? Visit a traditional fromagerie to see how reblochon, the cheese in fondue, is made. And if you're here in summer, wildflower meadows and refuge huts offer unforgettable overnight stays. The French Riviera is all about glamour. Nice's turquoise waters, Cannes' luxury yachts, and Èze's cliffside views. Start in Nice, stroll the Promenade des Anglais. Then hit the Cours Salea market for soccer, a chickpea pancake. For art lovers, the Matisse Museum is a hidden gem. A short bus ride away, Èze feels like a medieval dream. Hike the Nietzsche path for insane views, then visit the exotic garden at the top. Nearby, Menton is famous for its lemon festival and its quieter beaches. Feeling fancy? Monaco is the world's most luxurious micro-country. Even if you don't gamble, the Prince's Palace and Oceanographic Museum are worth it. Budget tip. Take the train from Nice, it's only 20 minutes. For a more relaxed vibe, Antibes has a stunning Picasso museum inside a castle. And if you want secret beaches, hike the Cap d'Antibes coastal path, locals' favourite spot. Welcome to France's fairy tale land, the Loire Valley. With over 300 chateaux, this UNESCO-listed region is where French royalty built their dream homes. The crown jewel is Château de Chambord. Its double helix staircase was allegedly designed by Leonardo da Vinci himself. For a magical experience, take a hot air balloon ride at dawn when the mist rises from the river. Chenonceau is called the Ladies' Castle because of the remarkable women who shaped its history. Walk through the flower-filled gardens that Catherine de Medici designed. Then visit the underground kitchens where they prepared 500-course banquets. The Loire isn't just about castles, it's one of France's premier wine regions. Try crisp Sancerre whites in cosy cave dwellings, or robust Chinon reds in 15th century troglodyte cellars. Budget tip. Many chateaux offer free bike rentals when you buy a tasting. Provence is sensory overload in the best way. The purple haze of lavender fields, the golden light that inspired Van Gogh, and the aroma of herbes de Provence in every market. Time your visit for late June to July, when the lavender blooms, but avoid August when all of Europe vacations here. Arles Amphitheatre has hosted gladiator battles for 2,000 years and still holds bullfights today. Just steps away, stand where Van Gogh painted Starry Night over the Rhone. The nearby asylum where he stayed now has a moving art therapy exhibit. Sunday markets are a Provençal ritual. At L'Île-sur-la-Sorgue, the Venice of Provence, hunt for antiques along canals lined with water wheels. You must try tapenade on fresh baguette and a glass of rosé from nearby Cassis. Bordeaux isn't just a drink, it's an entire world of wine culture. The neoclassical Place de la Bourse becomes magical at night when the world's largest reflecting pool lights up. For the ultimate wine experience, visit during the Fête Le Vin in June, when the riverfront becomes one big tasting room. Just when you thought Bordeaux was all about wine, we take you to Europe's tallest sand dune. Climb 110 meters for insane Atlantic views, then try sandboarding down. Pro tip: stay for sunset when the dunes glow golden. In a former World War II submarine base, this digital art centre projects masterpieces onto walls of water. Imagine Monet's water lilies dancing across 12,000 square metres while floating on a walkway. This tidal island has captivated pilgrims for over 1,000 years. Time your visit with the super tides when the sea rushes in faster than a galloping horse. Local guides lead barefoot walks across the bay, sharing secrets of quicksand patches and World War II bunkers hidden in the sand. The Abbey's cloister is an architectural marvel. Notice how the columns are intentionally uneven to represent humanity's imperfections before God. For photographers, the best light comes at 7 in the morning when day trippers haven't arrived yet. After dark, the entire island becomes a light show. The Abbey glows like a jewel, while the village's lantern-lit alleys feel straight from medieval times. Stay overnight at La Mer Poulard. Their famous fluffy omelettes have been served since 1888. Alsace is where France and Germany have a delicious cultural mix. The Route des Vins winds through storybook villages like Riviera, frozen in the 16th century. Each September, harvest festivals feature folk dancers in traditional costumes stomping grapes. Beyond the cathedral's mesmerising clock, explore Strasbourg's hidden covered bridges and medieval watermills. The Petite France district's leaning houses were once tanneries. December transforms Alsace into a winter wonderland. The Christkindlesmarkt in Strasbourg dates back to 1570. Try bredel cookies warm from the oven and vin chaud served in collectible mugs. The new Lascaux 4 Centre uses VR to bring 17,000-year-old art to life. Touchscreens reveal how prehistoric artists used the cave's natural contours to create three-dimensional effects. Nearby, try flint napping or lamplit cave tours at Font de Gaume. Join a truffle hunter and his dog at dawn. These black diamonds sell for €800 per kilogram. At Salat Saturday Market, watch chefs debate over foie gras while you sample walnut oil cakes. The best view of Baynac Castle from a canoe. Paddle past cliffs where Cro-Magnon man once fished. End your day at a ferme auberge for duck confit made the same way since the 100 Years' War. Europe's largest medieval fortress has layers of history, literally. Archaeologists found Visigoth jewellery under Roman foundations. Join the Night Watchman's Tour to see secret symbols carved by Cathar heretics. Every July, the city hosts Europe's most authentic medieval festival. Blacksmiths demonstrate sword making while jesters perform fire-eating acts. Try your hand at archery or chainmail weaving. Enjoy a cassoulet cooking class. This slow-cooked bean dish fueled soldiers during the 100 Years' War. Local chefs insist the secret is duck fat and 48 hours of baking. The cool, dark tunnels are where champagne gets its crisp minerality. At smaller houses like Champagne Collet, you can blend your own cuvée. The region comes alive during the Habit de Lumière festival when vintners dress in 18th century finery. In this hilltop village, Dom Pérignon perfected the méthode champenoise. His tombstone reads, "He brought light to the wine," quite literally. The abbey's stained glass casts rainbow hues on ancient wine presses. Look for the famous smiling angel statue that survived World War I bombing. The cathedral's light show transforms its facade into a kaleidoscope of champagne bubbles and coronation scenes. Lyon's 400 secret passageways tell stories of silk merchants and resistance fighters. These travels were escape routes during World War II, and today locals still use them as shortcuts. Look for the Bronze Lion's head markers that indicate public passages. This food temple honors chef Paul Bocuse, the Pope of French cuisine. Watch chefs select breast chickens with blue feet, then try his famous truffle soup at Lenoir. For budget eats, grab a Lyonnais sausage at a bouchon and notice the checkered tablecloths marking authentic spots. Lyon was Europe's silk capital for 500 years. At Maison des Canuts, master weavers demonstrate jacquard looms that inspired early computers. The secret? 4,000 threads per inch for designs fit for kings. Limestone fjords glow electric blue at noon when sunlight penetrates 30-metre depths. Start early to beat the crowds. The trail to Enval reveals a beach accessible only by ladder. Local tip: September offers warm water without summer's wildfire risks. Marseille's olive oil soap has been made the same way since 1688. At La Savonnerie du Serail, watch artisans cut 100-kilogram blocks with wires. The green variety contains seaweed for sailor's skin. Authentic bouillabaisse requires 4 local fish and saffron-infused rouille. Chefs like Michel at Le Rolle still serve it in 2 courses. Broth first, then fish, just as fishermen's wives did 200 years ago. This vertical village has drawn pilgrims since the 12th century. The faithful still climb the 216-step Grand Escalier on their knees. Notice the grooves worn into stone by centuries of devotion. Rocamadour cheese must mature in the same caves where monks aged it. At Ferme de Laborie, hand feed the goats whose milk makes this creamy delicacy. The best comes from animals grazing on coarse limestone pastures. After dark, a light show transforms the cliff into a medieval manuscript. Watch for the legend of Roland's sword. Locals claim the night through Durandal into these very rocks. At low tide, you can still see remnants of Mulberry harbours, the floating piers that supplied Allied troops. Local guides like Marc Laurenceau share heartbreaking letters found on soldiers and point out shrapnel marks on seaside hotels. The 70-metre Bayeux tapestry hides Viking-era jokes. Look for the nude figure in the border. Nearby, Musée de la Tapisserie demonstrates how medieval women embroidered wool onto linen using just 10 stitch types. Normandy's apple orchards fueled troops with Calvados. At Fermé de Billy, third-generation producers still use wooden presses. Taste the 20-year-old Père Magloire that locals call liquid gold. The granite islets are a snorkeler's paradise. Look for red coral and barracuda schools. Local legend says a 19th century shipwreck here inspired Dumas' Count of Monte Cristo. Corsican cheese like brocu must be made within hours of milking. Shepherds still use chestnut wood fires to smoke their tome. Join the transhumance festival when flocks parade through coastal towns. Bonifacio's clifftop citadel has guarded this strait since the 9th century. For the best photos, take the steps of the King of Aragon, 187 steps carved by besieging troops in 1420. The mountain lake stays miraculously clean thanks to 60 underground springs. Rent a pedal boat to visit the 12th century Château de Duang on its private island. The owner sometimes invites visitors for aperitifs. Annecy's Reblochon cheese was originally made from second milking. Farmers would hide extra milk from tax collectors. At La Ferme de la Chèvre Bleue, help make tomorrow's batch using 17th century copper vats. Adrenaline junkies can scale the La Tournette cliffs on iron rungs. The reward? A panorama of Mont Blanc from 2,350 metres. Pack a picnic of local abundance cheese and rye bread. This entire town sits atop limestone quarries. The 12th century monolithic church was carved downward. Architects removed 15,000 cubic metres of stone to create this subterranean marvel. During vendange, join grape pickers at Château Soutard before dawn. After sorting clusters by hand, taste the first juice called Bourou, naturally fizzy and packed with antioxidants. At Chateau Canon, sample Grand Cru wines in 18th century cloisters. Their 1947 vintage recently sold for €24,000. But the €30 tour includes a surprisingly affordable tasting of current releases. Monet designed every inch of this living artwork, from the willow cuttings imported from Egypt to the water lilies he hybridized himself. Time your visit for May, when wisteria drapes the bridge in purple. The restored studio reveals Monet's color secrets. He used 14 different blues. Local artists demonstrate how he layered complementary hues to create that famous shimmering effect. Follow the chemin des peintres to exact spots where Monet painted. The Contemporary Art Museum nearby displays works by modern artists continuing his legacy. Don't miss the holographic water lily installation. Cancal's flat-bottomed boats have farmed oysters since Roman times. At low tide, join the parkour's hand turning each shell for perfect shape, then shuck your reward right on the pier. Karnak's 3,000 standing stones predate Stonehenge by 2,000 years. New research suggests they were seismic sensors. The stones resonate at frequencies that detect underground water movements. In Brittany, galettes, which are buckwheat crepes, are a way of life. At Chez Philippe in Dinan, watch how the Roselle wooden spreader creates the perfect lace-thin edge. You must try the complète with egg, ham and artisanal Bordeaux butter.